Right now, there's a good chance you remember something that never actually happened. Not a detail you got a little wrong, a whole moment, a place, a face, a feeling that your brain quietly invented and then filed under true. Because your memory doesn't work like the camera roll on your phone, it works like your Instagram. You don't store your life. You post it, you filter it, you crop it, you caption it, and every single time you scroll back, your brain retouches the photo and saves the new version right over the old one. That memory you're so sure about, it isn't the original, it's the edit. And this isn't a glitch in your head specifically. It's the factory setting in every human head, including the one reading these words. You felt it. The fight that starts with, I definitely told you that, and you did not. The story two friends were both there for. Remembered two completely different ways. Picture a strong memory from when you were 5 or 6. Feel how solid it is. The colors, who was standing where. Here's the unsettling part, a lot of what you're seeing there was never saved. Your brain is filling it in right now. Live from old photos, from family stories, from what a 5-year-old's afternoon is supposed to look like. You're not replaying that memory. You're rendering it freshly this second, and you can't feel it happening. That's the whole problem. The edit never shows up in the corner of the picture. We don't just suspect this. Researchers have literally planted fake memories into ordinary, healthy adults on purpose. Elizabeth Loftus, a psychologist at UC Irvine, ran a study now famous as Lost in the Mall. Her team gave people a few real childhood stories from their families and slipped in one gentle lie that around age 5, they'd been lost in a shopping mall, frightened, and finally rescued by a kind stranger. It never happened, but after a couple of easy conversations, about a quarter of them remembered it. And they didn't just nod along. Some added details nobody fed them, what the stranger wore, how the panic felt, the layout of the mall. Their brain didn't just accept the story, it decorated it. In another study, people were shown a fake Disneyland ad with Bugs Bunny in it. Afterward, many of them warmly remembered meeting Bugs Bunny at Disneyland as a kid, shaking his hand, giving him a hug. That is flat out impossible. Bugs Bunny is a Warner Brothers character. He has never once been at Disneyland. But the memory felt completely real, because your brain never tags a memory as real or fake. It only tags it as mine. So why is your brain running a photo app instead of a security camera? Because recording everything perfectly would be wildly expensive and mostly pointless. Your brain doesn't want the raw 4-hour footage of your Tuesday. It wants the gist. So when something happens, it grabs a handful of fragments, a face, a feeling, one sharp detail, and throws the rest away. It's already curating in that first second, keeping what fits the story and deleting the other 40 shots. And here's the strange part. Every time you open that memory, it does not load a save file. It rebuilds the whole thing from those fragments, plus everything you know, feel, and believe today. Then it saves that brand new version back on top of the old one. Neuroscientists call this reconsolidation. In plain words, opening a memory edits it. To remember is to change. Not every recall rewrites everything, but the direction is well proven, which quietly flips something you assume is true. The memories you revisit the most, the ones you've told 100 times, the ones you built your identity on, are not your most accurate. They've been resaved the most. They've drifted the furthest from the original upload. And think of your current mood and beliefs as the algorithm. They decide which memories resurface and how they look when they do. Feel better about someone today, and your brain quietly recolors old memories of them to match. Same events, new filter. Sometimes it even keeps the content but loses the source by getting tagged in someone else's photo and slowly deciding it's yours. A story a friend told becomes something you lived. A scene from a movie becomes your childhood. Researchers call it a source monitoring error, and it's happening to you more often than you'd ever guess. Fine, you might think, but my big memories are rock solid, the ones that hit hard. That's the trap. Strong emotion makes a memory feel vivid and certain, but research on flashbulb memories, those where were you when moments, shows they warp and drift exactly like ordinary ones. You don't remember them more accurately, you just feel far more sure while you're wrong. Emotion doesn't lock the memory. It locks your confidence in it. And this goes deeper than psychology, right down to the wiring. In 2013, neuroscientists Steve Ramirez and Juduo switched on specific neurons in a mouse's brain and made it terrified of a room where nothing bad had ever happened to it. They didn't bend a memory, they built one out of nothing. Nobody is doing that to you. But the lesson holds. A memory is a physical thing your brain assembles, not a truth it faithfully keeps, and anything that gets assembled can be assembled wrong, which stops being a fun fact the instant it walks into a courtroom. When DNA testing began reopening old convictions, a pattern jumped out. In more than 2/3 of those overturned cases, the thing that put an innocent person away was an eyewitness who was completely certain and completely wrong, not lying, just edited. So where does that leave you? It sounds like you can't trust a single thing in your own head, but stay with the flip side for a second. Imagine a memory that couldn't be edited. Perfect, permanent, unfiltered. Every humiliation, every loss, every worst night of your life, kept in full resolution, replaying exactly as it happened, forever. No softening, no distance, no mercy. That isn't a superpower. That's a prison. Your editable reconstructive memory is the very thing that lets you heal. It rounds the sharp corners. It lets the story of your worst day slowly become something you can carry, instead of something that carries you. Your mind was never a hard drive guarding the truth. It's a storyteller, quietly curating a version of your life you can actually live inside. So the next time you catch yourself absolutely certain about a memory, hold it a little more gently. It's not a photograph, it's your latest post. And you have more say than you think in which version you keep, and which one you finally let scroll away. Do me one favor. Drop a memory you'd bet your life is true, and one you've caught yourself getting completely wrong. Take care of what you post to yourself.